Okay, here we are. Welcome all to the webinar, all about how to get agents on side. And we're going to go through some detail this evening, which will help you deal with any objections or issues that you may get from agents, and whether these agents are super experienced, young, crazy, think they know everything, think they don't know everything, whatever it might be. So first and foremost, can you just put in the chat box that you can hear me, please, and see the screen? It's just my ugly mug looking at you. You just confirm yes and yes for both. That'd be great, please. And once I get that, then I will share my screen so that we can get started. Thank you for all the people so far. We've got quite a few here this evening. Cool. Some familiar faces, some unfamiliar faces. Looking forward to it. So we've got quite a few. So yes, good. Thanks, Keith. Yeah, cool. Yes and yes. Thank you, Dave. Okay. So in that case, we will get started. We do have a few people still joining. I can see in the queue, but we're sticklers for timekeeping, so we will get started. So let me share my screen. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, so you should be able to see my screen now. First and foremost, I'm going to share a PowerPoint, and then I'm going to share some different websites, obviously, that we use and show you how to use them. So, okay, cool. All right, let's get started. I'm just going to do another quick check to make sure that everyone is saying that yes, they saw the spreadsheet. Saw the PowerPoint then, and then I'll switch back to it. It's just that my screen's on a double screen, so I just want to make sure that I don't go on and on and on, and you don't get the benefit. Okay, cool. We've got some yeps and yeses and yeppers and cool. Yeah, we're on. Excellent. Okay. Let's switch back. Here we are. So, rent-to-rent agents, big issue, big issue, big issue. I have taught hundreds of people now the strategy of rent-to-rent and also serviced accommodation using rent-to-rent. We tend to find that the majority of people who are getting into service accommodation are looking to do it for income because they don't have such a high income, which means that they don't have a lot of capital, which means that they can't afford to buy a property, or in some cases they don't know how to buy a property for no money left in, or whatever it might be. So they're looking to get their income, get out of work, and do property full time. Now, many of my students started off on rent-to-rent, and now they've merged into rent-to-rent service accommodation. So when I talk about rent-to-rent, just for the life of the webinar today, when I say rent-to-rent, I mean rent-to-rent HMOs. And if I say service accommodation, again, just assume it's rent-to-rent. Although obviously we do buy our own properties for service accommodation with all the Clause 24 crap going on. So let's get started. So Wealth and Success Academy is a company that myself and a brand that myself and Emmanuel Ezekiel started up. Emmanuel's still in America at the moment, enjoying himself because obviously he has created passive income, and he's able to do that. So he's back on Wednesday next week, and then we've got the Advanced Mastermind group on the 20th. So Emmanuel is back for that for those on here who are part of that mastermind group. So it's going to be awesome. So for those who don't know, I am Ashley Banfield, and yes, that photo looks like me, and I'm probably still losing a bit more hair. So not through lack of trying, believe me. I've been investing in property since 2006. I started with zero. In fact, I had negative money. I started in August doing rent-to-rent in 2013. I actually got trained by real letting agents, a guy called Nick, who actually kind of pushed me up against the wall and screamed at me 2 centimeters from my face, asking me what the effing hell I was doing in this shop and why I kept coming in there for the last 6 months. And I asked him for help, and he gave me help. And then from there, he had 18 years experience then, so he now has around about 21 years experience. We still have a beer together, we still have a laugh, we've got lots of contacts that we share, and he's always keeping me abreast of the latest things on letting agents and this type of thing. So a lot of what you see here is what I learned from him, believe it or not. I'm one of the wealth and success guys for myself and the manual. We're mentors, we're trainers, and we're also investors as well. I've just taken on my latest service accommodation property as well. So we're actually out there doing it. And for the people that I mentor one-to-one, this week I've been out for 2-3 days this week, and I'm out again tomorrow. Sorry, not this week, last week. So I've been out today, which is Tuesday, isn't it? Yep. And I'm out again tomorrow in Milton Keynes with one of my students. And then I'm going to get out again on Thursday with another one of my students back in London. So what I'm going to teach you now is what I teach them, that I do on a day-to-day basis if it's Friday or Saturday or Sunday I have off. So most days I am talking to agents, so we've got this experience as well. So we also teach advanced strategies like lease options, purchase options, developments, service accommodation, and rent-to-rent, obviously. So enough about me. So cash flow from property without owning it. This is what rent-to-rent's all about. So this is the big picture that we're looking for, right? We want £1,000 a month extra. We want an extra 5 grand a month. We want 10 grand a month. People come to me with 20 grand a month, perhaps even 30 grand a month. I've got 2 guys now who have broken the 30 grand a month mark within 12 months. And a lot of people go, oh, that's impossible. That's bullshit. It's not impossible. It's completely possible. And you're quite happy to email me and ask me about these guys, and you can speak to them direct if you like. They're quite happy to do that. And there's many more on 10, 12, 15, 20K a month as well, all within 12 months. So part of the reason that they get there, the fast track like this, because not many people can say that they actually have students who have earned this sort of money in the first case. And secondly, that they've earned this money so quickly. I know of a couple of trainers who are busting 30 grand a month, but I don't know of many students who are doing this. It's probably a handful. So I have a big part of that handful, and we're very proud of that. So let's crack on. So staying to the end, because we do have a special offer. Obviously, this is what we do as well. We make some money. We're not going to bullshit you. And at the end, we do have a pretty good offer. It includes both rent-to-rent as HMOs and also service accommodation. And it might be that you haven't done one of these courses, and it could be that you need a refresh, whatever it might be. But there is a pretty special offer, and this is the first time it's ever been offered here. And my business partner is telling me I'm crazy, but I want to share. And that's the reason I'm doing this agent webinar too, because loads of people have said to me, why are you doing this? Why have you done this? And I've had emails and messages, and I've had one abusive message this week saying, why are you doing this? This is part of what we teach in classes, etc., etc. Well, you need to know, okay? So we're going to pass it on. So cash flow from property without owning it is rent to rent. So for those who don't know, we rent a property, then we rent it again to other people, or we let it out, or lease it out, whatever terminology you want to do, or we actually have paying customers come in and, when we use it as service accommodation. So we do this with larger properties like the HMOs or smaller properties. So we specialize in sort of 1 and 2 bed properties. And the one that we just took on is a 3-bed, and it can actually be a 4-bed. But because of all the planning crap, we don't want to get into that. We actually take on properties in their entirety. So we don't actually let them out by the room. And this is across the country. We won't get into that tonight. So we'll talk mainly about larger properties today, but also, with the long-term occupancy, but also what we say when we're looking for service accommodation as well. So how does it work? Single let to multi-let. Owners are contacted directly or via letting agents. Now, when you talk to an owner, it's very different to how you talk to a letting agent. Owners sometimes have an idea of what's going on. Very rarely, this is nothing against letting agents, because I love you guys because you bring me so much business. but they need a lot more educating. They may have also been trained in a certain way and only deal with like residential as in family. So they're not so up to date on company lets or anything like that. So it's how we word things from the outset. It helps us, if you like, sort of draw a line in the ground to say, look, this is where we are. This is where we need you to be. Let's get over this. Let's move on. Lots of things that agents will say to you to try and steer you away and put you off the scent, if you like, or they're trying to qualify you out. So properties let by the room and rent to rent, you can do that in service accommodation, or you take care of it rented out by the room in service accommodation. We look after the property, obviously. It's in our interest because there's so much competition now. We want to stand out. One of my students just got her first rent-to-rent HMO up and running in North London. And she's very much, and she may be on here tonight, she's very much a perfectionist, shall we say, in her paperwork, in her insurance, etc., the whole lot. And she's a very good person to learn from because she's such a stickler for detail. And then when she dressed her property, she filled 6 rooms within a week. And it looks absolutely spectacular because she is just a stickler for detail. So you need to do that. So we carry out a refresh if we need to. Most of our guys get the landlords to pay for them. Again, it's how you talk to them and what you ask for. Well, you don't actually ask for it. You kind of suggest things, and they kind of, part of the negotiation is that they will actually offer to do these things. Find tenants to live in the property, or obviously advertise and booking, Airbnb, home away, holiday lets, etc. And then the difference from what we pay and what we pay in bills is our profit. Repeat as many times as you wish or you dare. So why are we so successful where many of the others aren't? So we have a 7-step system we follow, and we stick to it religiously. We know what paperwork we need to use, and we also provide it if and when we need to. So there's basically 4 different types of contracts that we can use. So we know how to negotiate, and we know when to negotiate. I was out with a guy today, Walter, in London, looking at service accommodation apartments, and he won't mind me saying this, but we went out about a week before Christmas. And so, yeah, it's a slow time, right? But that doesn't wash with me. There's still agents sitting there waiting to talk, and it's probably the best time to actually go out and meet agents. And even today we were talking to the agents, and I kind of said, how's the business? Oh, it's really slow at the moment, but we've got stuff coming on in the next week, the next 2 weeks, come and see us then. So we took that opportunity to sit down and talk to them and find out exactly what's going on. And you get to build more rapport because they're not busy, they're not running out to do viewings, they're sitting there, surfing the internet, looking at Facebook, whatever it is. So you've got time at these quiet times to go and speak to them and build that rapport. Building rapport and relationships with agents is the most important, the number one most important thing. Because if you don't have that relationship, and you don't have that rapport, they can be extremely inflexible, and we want them to be extremely flexible. So we know how to spot deals, and we also know when to walk away. So we went to 2 viewings today, 3 viewings today. First one we walked in, yep, love it, it's brand new, fully done, made an offer. The second one we walked in, beautiful views of the Shard, then just to the left, council houses, etc. I turned around to the agent and said, Joe, doesn't work for us, mate. No good. And I told him why. He said, good, great. I respect your honesty. You're not wasting my time. You're not wasting yours. And they do love that. Don't mollycoddle around with agents. They like you to be direct. Don't piss around and sort of say, oh, I don't know if it's no good. I'll let you know. Don't do that. Tell them there and then so they can cross it off the list and move on. They have very, very thick skin. They're okay with getting a no. So you should be okay with getting a no. You should be okay with walking away, because if it's not going to get you money, and Walter said to me, why did we walk away? Okay, Walter, if you paid £200 a night, would you stay there and expect that and lights in the hallway not working, the floors all messed up, etc.? No. Okay, enough said. You need to be empathetic and put yourself in their shoes. So we know agents, and when I say we know agents, we know lots of agents. So I was dealing with some agents up north a couple of months ago, and one of my students in London, Bromley Way, she said to me, I think I've got a deal and the agent knows you. And I looked at the agent's name and the guy's from up north. And these guys move around. So he's moved down south. He's, yeah, I know Ashley Banfield. Yeah, we can put a deal together. I know exactly how it works and what we do. And he's an agent that we got like 10, 12 deals through for guys up in the north a couple of months ago. So they know exactly how we work. But he's a guy that we also walked into fresh off the street, cold call. And I'm going to teach you how you don't do cold calls tonight. But we walked straight in off the street, cold call, sat down. Have we got some deals? What do you want? We want this, blah, blah, blah. We don't pussyfoot around and say, oh, you know, we're thinking about doing this. And you know, we don't want to say sublet, but oh, shit. Go in there and say to them, hey, go, yeah, we need some properties for service accommodation, but we're also looking for HMOs. We want to do this rent to rent. Yeah, I know what rent to rent. Most of them know what it is. If they don't, they'll say, what is it? Okay, let me tell you. They'll either say, yes, we can do that, or no, we can't. I can tell you now, 3 years ago, I used to get no, 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 no. Now, yep, no problem. Yep, no problem. Yes, yes, yes. But I've been out with students who tell me they get no, 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 no. And they've even told me, can we walk into these ones? They've all told me no, and they're the best agent. We walk in, we walk out, we go to viewings. I'm going to show you how. So you can learn about all of this and our minimum criteria and what we have to remain successful. So we have minimum criteria and maximum criteria as well, and good averages that we can work on in worst case, best case scenarios for both HMOs and for service accommodation. So this is why these guys are being so successful and not losing money, is because they're making money because they're doing things right and they follow the 7-step system religiously. If they don't, I pick them up on it. What the fuck are you doing? Move on. Let's go back a couple of steps, start it again, and get everything in place. You might have guessed I'm a little bit, sometimes I can be a bit tough on people, but the people I mentor, they like it. So I sent out some emails at the start of this year. And now, you know, believe it or not, we're actually 2 weeks into the year, 2017. And somebody said to me the other day, is it too late to say Happy New Year? To me, when people are saying it's too late to say Happy New Year, that is when 90% of all the people out there who set their wonderful New Year's resolutions have actually forgotten about them and they've given it up. You know, they've drank, they've eaten too much again already, they've gone out for the business lunch, they've given up the gym, screw it, I hate this, I don't like it, it's too dark in the morning, it's too dark at night, it's wet, too icy, too snowy, too whatever. And so, you know, I did a webinar for the guys and I shared it with the public as well. And basically just giving everyone a kick in the ass, just, you know, a nice little nudge to get going. Let's get back on it. And the response was awesome. I didn't expect the response I got. I'm getting like phone calls, and I'm out every day for the next 2-3 weeks with students. So it's awesome. Well done, guys, if you're on here. So all of us and all of these guys were all once beginners, right? And I strongly believe that anyone can do this, including you, whoever you are, if you've got the balls and the guts to get off your backside and go and do it. Because we'll teach you the 20%, the strategy, etc. We'll teach you the other 10% of how to deal with agents. The other 70% is you getting off your backside, going out and doing it. Without action, and I know you've heard it all before, but think about it. Your fucking bicycle's not going to go anywhere unless you push the pedals, right? This is what action's all about. So, simple 7 steps. Now, we're not going to go all through every single one of them, but I'm showing this because I want to show you where you need to have relationships with agents. So let's kick off. Number 1, you need to identify and assess. So this is the ABC part, right? So A is assess your area. So you need to find out what's going on. You need to do your due diligence. You know, you need to do your price testing and with service accommodation, you need to do your areas. You need to look at spare rooms, easy roommate, all of these places that you do your due diligence. And we teach all of this on the course. Identify properties and call to book viewings. So you can see step 2, you are now involved with agents. Now we're only going to talk about finding deals through agents tonight, because that is where 90% of our deals come from. This is the quickest route to market. This is the fastest way you're going to build your income. If you want to get out of your job, this is the easiest and quickest way. If you've got the nance in your head, the action tick box to move on and do it. Then we go to number 3 and we conduct viewings. Again, we're doing this with agents. Number 4, we present offers. We present offers to the agents. Number 5, we sign an agreement, and this is with an agent. And number 6, we refresh the property if needed. I never say refurb because we're not doing refurb. We're refreshing it. A little lick of paint here and there. And it's to make you think that get away with as little money as possible, but to make it look as good as possible. So my granddad once said to me, boy, it's better to live like a millionaire than to be a millionaire with all the hassle. And, you know, I don't know if that's exactly true, but I mean, he might have a point there. So what we're doing, we're making it look like a millionaire lives there, but we're not spending the money a millionaire would, okay? And then number 7, we fill with tenants or we fill it with guests. So step 2, here we go. Now, if you want to make phone calls, which I can tell you, we do live calls in our classes. And if I say to 20 people in the class, who wants to make a call, and everyone listen, I can tell you this, their heads go down. No, I can see them saying to themselves, please don't look at me. Please don't look at me. Oh, shit, he's looking at me. They put the phone down in their pocket. Don't hold your phone and you won't have to make a call. Now, that's kind of weird, considering that 2 days after that course, I want you to go out and start on Monday morning and kick off and start calling agents. Now, this became a big issue probably 7 or 8 months ago, and I started to find it and I started to see it with the guys that I mentor. So we came up with this system. We said, right, this is the system we're going to use so that you don't actually have to make any calls, because most people can make 3 or 4 calls, they get 3 or 4 no's, they give up, and they say to themselves, this is not for me. Trust me, most people give up after 3 or 4 no's. That is fact. For those who are a little bit stronger, they might make 10 calls. And then they say to themselves, oh, I've worked so hard today, but everyone says no. Because what you're doing, you're brand new, you're new, you don't really have the patter, because you need to practice it for a couple of weeks before it sounds like it's rolling off your tongue. And then you're saying much less than what you were initially. Again, out with the guys this week, you'll go out there and brand new. It's like I was explaining to one of the guys again today. If a policeman comes up to you and you know you've done something wrong, you've broken a law, you will over-explain yourself. You'll go on and on. No, it couldn't be me. I didn't know. Oh, yeah. You'll go on and on and on. This is what an agent hears when a newbie goes into their office or calls them on the phone. So they'll say things like, no, we can only do 12-month contracts. So then you think, no, we're dead, because you'd been told you need to go for 3 years. On the other hand, if it were me, I would say, hey, look, I'm happy to do 12 months, no problem at all. And they say, oh, okay, that's great. Then they say to me, oh, by the way, it's on an AST. And I will say, no problem, I'm happy to do an AST for 12 months. Now, every other little goon who's gone in there previously and called up, who've just been on a rent-to-rent course or a service accommodation course, have all been told you need to get 3 years and you need to sign a management agreement. And another thing that you will say is, oh, we can't do an AST because we have to do a company let, or it has to be on our management agreement. Some people aren't even taught the bit about company let. They are just taught, oh, we have to use a management agreement and it has to be ours. What a load of bullshit. You will never get a deal. You will be very, very lucky to get a deal. Promise you. I promise you. I promise you. You'll be. Tell me if you've got a deal like that, and you'll be one of the few. An agent is using a management agreement already. Why the hell do you need 2? You do not need 2. It's just like a conflict of interest. You look like a dickhead saying that I'm going to use a management agreement alongside in parallel to yours. Yes, there have been times that we've used it, but that's because the agents didn't have a freaking clue what's going on up north or in the Midlands or somewhere. I can't recall. It might have been Melton Mowbray. So there are 4 different kinds of contracts that we can do. So if somebody says to me, are you happy to use this paperwork, that paperwork? If an agent says that to me, I say, yes, I will use whatever paperwork you want. Because I can tell you this, right? You'll build rapport as the deal process goes on. Then you'll get the contract come through and you'll say, oh, look, sorry, I can't have the subletting stuff in there. Can't have in there. Can we change that? No, we're not allowed to change the paper. Okay, let's do an addendum. Okay, yep, we can do an addendum. That's no problem. Because they can sign an addendum. They don't need to hire a solicitor to do for that, which is a lot of the small people don't want to do. But they won't tell you that, well, we can't do that because we're going to hire a solicitor because it makes them look stupid. So this is one of the key points that they do it. Another thing they say is you might get a young person who says, okay, we can only do 12 months on an AST maximum or minimum 6 months, whatever it is, because they've been trained to deal with families or young couples or anyone renting the property on their own, not company lets. We walked into an agent's a couple of months ago. There was a young girl on the left. She had trainee written on her shirt. There was another lady in the corner who was obviously the manager. We didn't know this until she barked up. We walked in. We said, hi, this is what we're looking for, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, we can't do that. Okay, so what do you mean you can't do it? Why can't you do it? Oh, we just don't do it. Okay, can you tell me what it is that you don't do? Because I'm happy to use your paperwork. I'm happy to go on an AST if I have to. And she said, oh, no. Lady in the corner chirps up, no, we can do that. And then the trainee says to her, no, we can't. The manager, as it says, she said, stood up and she said, look, I'm the manager. We will do that. If you want to deal with me directly, I'm happy to do that. It turns out that the trainee had been just brainwashed from her previous employer that she used to work for. Can't do this, can't do this, can't do this. Now, if you get people who say they can't do that, make a phone call another day, or make a phone call in the afternoon, or make a phone call at lunchtime when perhaps that person's out, and speak to someone else. We've done that on many occasions. So if somebody says no, it doesn't always mean no. Call someone else in there. It might just be a silly mistake that they're making. Don't give up. We had one today. I spoke to a guy called, what was his name? Sam. And then Sam was like a negotiator, lettings negotiator. He said, I can't help you with company lets. So I'm going to put you through to Stuart. Put me through to Stuart. He was, oh, hello, darling, and stuttered quite a bit. And I just wanted answers. Hello, darling. I said, Stuart, like, what are we going to do business? Well, I'm going to have to get you to speak to Sam. Who's Sam? The lettings director. All right. So we've had Sam. Actually, it was Samuel. We've had Sam, Stuart, and now Samuel. Triple S. And then we got through to Stuart, and I spoke to him this afternoon. And he drilled me about 6 or 7 different questions. No problem whatsoever. One of the key things was, excuse me, that he spoke to me about was, how long has your company been in operation? So with me, I said, look, I've been going quite a while, but this is not actually for me. This guy's been working with me for some time. I'm helping him set up his own business. We have full financial backing. We have 4 joint venture partners that he's working with, the equivalent of 120,000 net cash in the bank, and they're willing to also guarantor. Would that be okay? Oh, yes, of course, not a problem at all. Right, can we get you to do some viewings? See how simple this shit is. It's very easy, but a lot of trainers out there want it to sound so hard. I don't know why. So we're giving a lot of crap tonight away, a lot of crap away here tonight. So, sorry, back on there. So this is a very, very simple system, and I'm going to show you right now. So let's go to the internet. So let's just have a quick look and make sure that you can all still see and hear me before we go on. Just a couple of yeses, a yep, no, yep. That'll be good enough for me. It gives me a little time to stop talking to and have a breather. So let's get on to the internet here. Okay, so we have, we'll go with, cool, thanks, Grant. So here we are, our old friend Rightmove. Everyone's familiar with Rightmove. The other one we use is Zoopla. There are other sites we use, but these are the key ones, right? And this is how I'm going to show you the system. So on here, you will put in, let's put in London Bridge. And let's assume we're going for service accommodation. It doesn't matter what we're going for, right? Whether it's rent to rent. Now, everyone will say, oh, you've got to put in here, within the radius, you've got to put in here your minimums, your number of bedrooms, your property type. We do not touch it. And you can include, let agreed, that's fine. And then what will happen is, you do a find properties. London Bridge, we've got 470, right? And that's normally up around about 700-800, so you know it's a quiet time. Now, our friend at Rightmove, in their ultimate wisdom some months ago, what they did is you used to be able to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and down the bottom here you would have a list of agents, but they removed that. So whether you're doing flips or whatever, it's gone. Buggers. So what do? We will then have to go to looking at each agent direct, email agent, one by one. What a pain in the backside. So what we decided to do is we'll go over to Zoopla, we'll type in London Bridge, and we'll go for rent. And again, sorry, let's go back one page. And again, we don't put anything in here, nothing at all. And we just click search. And now here, you can see we've got loads of properties from 1 bed, 2 bed, we've got studios, we've got everything that you can name. Oh shit, sorry, we need to rent. Rent property type. Sorry about that. For rent, London Bridge, go. I thought they were expensive rentals. Okay, so you can see some of these quite high, some are quite low. That's very high for a studio in London Bridge, but it's probably got straight on the Thames. And then they go down to 1600, 1700, as we know, because I work with guys. As you can see, here's another one. I've actually viewed that property, funny enough. And that's the same one there, same property. And then we scroll all the way to the bottom. And look, bingo. Look at all these lovely agents. Now, you would click featured, none, or you can click all. Now, if I were you, I would remove Foxtons, because Foxtons do not do what we do. So because we've only got 9 agents there, what I want to do is I want to go London Bridge, half a mile, and we'll put in London Bridge Station because there's an automatic one there. We'll do another search. We should get some more agents up. I know there's a lot more than that working around there. Wow, okay, so we've got 52 now. So again, you want to click all. You want to take out Foxtons. Now you're in the SE1 area. So you want to take out these guys. And trust me, yeah, you might say, oh, but they've got properties there. No, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're just cheeky and they put it in there to try and expand out. SE5 will leave in anything over, but Southwest, all of these. So anyway, you take these out, right? Because you'll get calls from these guys, believe it or not, and they'll waste your time. And then you'll start to think to yourself, maybe I should go to that area. But you need to focus on your own area. You can see there's quite a few of these people here that try to do this. W5 again. And then in here, you need to put, as it says, John Smith or your name. So if it's Ashley Banfield, we type in Ashley Banfield. Now in here, you would type, hello, we are looking for several properties in the London Bridge area and the close surroundings, or however you want to do it, within a 10-minute walk. This is for service accommodation or HMOs. And then you will type in here a couple more things. and a few more things, 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 and a few more things that will build your credibility and tell them specifically what you're going to use it for. Then you will put in your phone number and use your mobile, whatever it is. There's a T in there, but it doesn't matter. And then your email. It should not be an info at. It should not be a sales at or dick at, knob at, whatever you are. It should be your name at SA or rent2rent.com. Okay, untick that one. You don't want that. What will happen is you send a copy to my email address. What it will do then, once you send the email, you will get a copy and all the contact details of every single agent that you have just sent out details to. And you are going to need this list. You can export it and turn it into an Excel spreadsheet. Why? Because you are going to get lots of emails and lots of phone calls as long as all this information here is done correctly. The secret lies in what you write in there. Now, I was going to tell everyone this, but my students have said, please, we don't want too much competition. You can tell them this much. The rest, they need to go through the lump like they did. And that is to do the course or whatever it might be. So that's my promise to them. Once you've got the email that comes through, some will send you half a dozen or 10 properties, which means they didn't really give a shit about what you said in your email. They've sent you some crap. You're starting to sort the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. The ones that call you, and the ones that call you the quickest within half an hour of you sending the email, are the ones who are keen and the ones who want to do business. You must send this email when you are on site. So if you are sitting in London Bridge in a cafe, having a coffee around about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, I suggest you don't send the email until 9 a.m. because that's the time that some of them click on or clock on and they start to look at emails. They get away from Facebook, Hotmail, Gmail, whatever it might be, or Twitter. Then from there, they will start to contact you. And the ones that contact you very quickly know their stock, and they will know that, oh, yes, I've got this 2-bed property. I know what it is. It's perfect. It's got to work for it. It's got 2 bathrooms. Excuse me. It's overlooking this. It's overlooking that. Whatever. And I know that they work with service accommodation, or I know that they work with these people that you said you work with, and blah blah blah. Bang. You will have a viewing. 2 of the people that we phoned today, we phoned them up because they have a lot of properties that are vacant, especially apartments in London. One, we said, we're sitting in the Pret Cafe, and he said, it's literally walk out the left, 2 minutes, first on the left street, two doors up, first floor. Boom. We were there within probably 4 minutes, but hey, they always have a letting agent, right? So we were there in 4 minutes, bang, we're in viewing. All from these emails and phone calls that we make. The guy that I was out with today has 5 or 6 good contacts now. We dropped into one who had sent him before Christmas, sent him details, and he'd spoken to and met her, went back in. Hi, how you going? I tell you what, when you walk in and the letting agent goes, hey, how you going, guys? What are you doing? Hi, Ash, Walter, blah, blah, blah. It's amazing. It's great. They know you. Because I can tell you this, the other 50 people that walk in there during the week, the newbies doing this, doing that, they're walking in cold calling. And sometimes they don't want you cold calling. We used to do a lot of cold calling, but what this does, it creates a warm call, if you like. So it's a warm introduction. You haven't walked off the street and don't know who you are. It's better to walk in and go, hi, Ashley Manfield, I sent you an email. Ah, yes, I was just reading that. Come in, sit down. Let me Let me see what you're doing. On the very rare occasion, and we walked in and goes, oh, sorry, yeah, I sent you an email and actually said that we don't do it. You can still say, thanks very much, that's great. Do you know other people who are letting agents around here? They always know someone. Yeah, those guys, I know they do company lets. In fact, within a month, they may actually be working there because I know that company lets or service accommodation is red hot, and service accommodation is doubling in the next 2 years. That's the expectation from many different sources saying the same thing. And agents know this, they're onto it. It's their business to know the marketplace. So this is what we have to do. So we are just basically working towards the trends, right? It's what you got to do. Don't wear flares when everyone's wearing skinny. Well, you can if you want to stand out. So as you can see here, there's tons of properties there. So when you've contacted the agents, then you can go through some of the properties that they send you. So you can see there's a whole plethora of different agents there. There are small ones. There are some that I see that don't actually do what we do from experience. There's a giveaway there for somebody who works in London. So don't waste your time with black cats. Whether you're in Camden or whether you're in London Bridge or whether you're in Finchley, we get around. Foxtons, don't ever bother with them. Sometimes they'll say, yes, come and look. You'll get 5 viewings booked up. You might get to do the viewings, and they turn around and say, no, we can't help you. Dexter's are quite good, hard to get into. They have their own corporate lettings arm, in case you didn't know that. If you walk in and get hammered. Right now, residential, very good. I didn't say that. So good, okay. And that's what you do. You send out the email and you start taking phone calls. So we did it again today with Walter, walking down the street. And he actually said to me, I said to him, lazy shit. He said to me, just before he's about to hit this send button down here, and normally it's me who hits the button. So we get it there and I say, are you ready? And they go, and he said to me, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to take all the phone calls. And I went, bang, you need to get ready. And he's probably still taking phone calls now or doing the emails. And this is the same thing that happens. And this is the quickest and easiest way to build relationships. And the agents are calling you. You are not making, the only cold call you've made is this email. As I say to some of my students, it is a piece of piss. Get them calling you. Now you can forget about making the phone calls to people. Oh, no, we don't do that. I know we don't do this. You get them, they send you the properties that fit your description because you've been specific about what it is that you want. They phone you and then they might say, you know, how long has your company been going for? Well, it could be a couple of weeks old. It could be a couple of months old. You could have a company that's 6 months old. So what are they asking? I'll tell you what they're asking. They don't give a shit how long your company's been going for, to be honest. They want you to say, it's fine. We're going to pass credit checks. I've got joint venture backings. I've got this. I've got that, blah, blah, blah. It's got guarantors. No problem. And they just glance over it. Great. Thank you. Let's move on. What they should be saying is if you opened up the book and read between the lines, they are actually saying to you, if they were blunt, Ashley Banfield, how do we know that you're going to pass credit checks and that you can afford this? Let me tell you, blah, 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 blah. Okay, great, let's move on. They don't want to waste their time. So do not waste their time. If you do not have a guarantor lined up, don't waste their time and bullshit to them and say that you have. Because if you can't get one, bang, you've lost that agent. Excuse me, an ordinary, it's an agent who does what you do and can bring you deals. Do not fuck off your agent no matter whatever you do, please. Then from there, so on our group, I put an email out the other day. It's a private Facebook group. You'll get to join if you've done the course. And I said to the guys, we've been offered 16 apartments in London. Would anyone like to finance these? Within an hour, I think 14 people have come forward. Yep. Another one, need someone, a guarantor, no cash needed, need to earn 70 grand a year. who would like to fund this? 4 or 5 people come forward. Boom, 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 boom. And then I get private messages from another half a dozen people. Ash, I want to finance deals. I love rent to rent, but I don't have time, but I've got a lot of money to help someone else. And in turn, it helps them. They get a 50-50, and then it sort of pro-ratas down from there, or pro-ratas up for the person who's doing all the work. So there's plenty of money out there. It's just another excuse that you can use if you want to use it. So is that clear? It's very, very flippin' simple. Take the calls. So let's move on. There's more. There is a recording of this as well that you'll get sent out afterwards so that you've got all of this. You can watch it over again if you dare. Number 3 in the steps is conduct the viewings. Yes, simple. You walk around. Yeah, you do this. So if it's a 2-level property, always start upstairs. This is where you start building more rapport with the agent. And you must take control of the meeting and the viewing. Walk in. Hi, Joe. Hi, Sam, Sarah, whatever your name is. How you going? Yeah, Ashley Banfield, blah, blah, blah. All the niceties out of the way. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, blah, blah, blah. They'll lead you to the lounge. Joe, sorry, mate. Can we start upstairs? Sure. As soon as they're following you, psychologically, you are taking the lead and you have control. You go upstairs. You start asking the questions. You sound professional. You look professional. They think you know what you're talking about. If you follow an agent around and he goes, and this is the wonderful bedroom, it's rather large, and you know it won't even fit a single bed. You know, fucking large for what, a rabbit? If you want to listen to that shit, follow them around. You will not do deals with these people. They will think you're a pussycat. Take control. Walk them. Walk forward. Get them to follow you. Do it quickly. Right, bathroom 1. Okay, bum, bum, bum. Joe, see this? All the windows are blown. Will they fix that? I can ask. Good. Can you put it down? Do you need to write it down or want me to write it down? I can email it. No, I can write it down. I'll put it on my phone. You've got notes on your phone? Yeah. Bang. Start writing down, Joe. They're taking notes for you. It's like a PA. You then walk into bedroom 2, bedroom 3, blah, blah, blah. You're looking for stuff so that you can actually lower the price, the offer price, because the work needs to be done. If they don't want to do it, we do it. We charge it back, or get it off the first month's rent, second month's rent, whatever it might be. Then you look for the bathrooms. Yes, there's 2 bathrooms, are there en suites, blah, 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 because you know you can charge more for en suites. And so you're starting to work out how much money you can earn, whether it's an HMO or SA. Then you walk downstairs. Then you go into the other rooms and you think, if it's okay, HMO, can I split that room? Can I make another bedroom? Blah, blah, blah. Then finally, you go to the back garden, you have a little look. You might even just look out the window. You're not looking for shrubs. You're not looking for worms. You're not looking for blackbirds or blue tits. You're just looking out there and thinking, shit, this is going to cost me a fortune to maintain because it's like a pedicured garden. We don't want those properties. You walk out there, there's a bit of grass, which normally there's a couple of shrubs, piece of cake. It's going to take a guy half an hour every 2 weeks, come and cut the grass. Happy days. So you're working out your costs. Then you go into the kitchen. And the kitchen is the place, or the heart of the house, as many people call it, whatever they want to call it. Psychologically, it's where everyone does the talking. You know, if you remember, you know, you wanted to tell your mum something when you've been a bit naughty when you were young. You go in there when your mum's cooking, she's kind of half distracted. Mum, I got an F in maths, or I got told off by the headmaster, or, you know, I slipped over at rugby and everyone laughed at me. And she's like, oh, Ashley, you know, how could you do such a thing? And she's distracted and, like, you know, doing the cooking. So it's a smart way to tell your parents. But then sometimes they think about it later and come back. So you remember what we were talking about? You're grounded, or whatever it might be. Anyway, I'm getting off route. But the key is it's about the kitchen. But also you've got loads of bench space there. Now you're not going to start cooking and bring out the steaks and fill it in the fish. You're going to put your PC or your laptop, your Airbook, MacBook Air, whatever it is, on the bench. You might have some little handouts, or what we call point of sale leaflets, that you can leave with them, i.e. how we do stuff, how we work, etc. And then they can take that and you can start explaining it. Their focus, if you can sort of imagine me now standing facing a bench, and then I bring a person from my left or my right. Hey, come over here, Joe. Right, look down on the desk. So almost looking over your shoulder, but they're actually next to you. If you're face to face, it's like a business thing, and they can get, agitated or a bit nervous because you're staring them out, if that's the way you are, or you're not looking in the eye so they don't trust you, and all this body language shit comes out. So if they're next to you, it feels like they're working with you. Now, you might say I'm full of shit, but trust me, it's worked for me for years. And I've talked to people who know all the NLP stuff and all the psychology. They say it's always better to stand next to someone and explain to them and show them, instead of going pointing where they're reading upside down, you're all reading upside. Come and sit over here. Let's sit next together. Okay, let's have a look here. So, if you're ever taught something, you like to sit next to someone. Let's look at the laptop. Let's go through it. I know from one of my students, no, I'll sit next to you. Can I sit next to you? Yeah, sure you can. Let's have a look. And then you show them. So if it works when I'm teaching students, it works when I'm teaching and educating letting agents. Do you understand that? They see it. They see the stuff that you're on there. It looks professional because all of our documents are well presented, and then we put all the information. We showed them the calculator. Look, this is what I've got to get this property for, Joe. It's on at 1825. I need it for 1675. Can you justify this? And what we do next is we present the offer, and we do it all in electronic format. So we have an Excel sheet. It doesn't look like an Excel sheet. It looks more like a Word doc, but it's in Excel because we've got everything. Once you put in your numbers, it shows at the end for your maintenance, your voids, and all this sort of stuff. It shows at the end that they're actually better off using us by £100, £200 a month, or over 3 years, it might be 5, 6, 7, 8 grand. You need to justify your offer with these numbers. You can't just say 1,900. I'll give you 1,600, mate. They're gonna be like, yeah, get stuffed. That's the way it goes. You need to justify and break it down and present it to them in chunks, not all at once. And together with that, we put on all of the information of how we work and how we expect them to work, and the type of tenants that we have in, or if we're having guests in, any companies, etc., that we work with, blah, blah, blah. And then we save it as a PDF, because a PDF looks nice and it's easy to scroll through, because an Excel spreadsheet, the way we've done it, it's like takes ages to refresh. So we PDF it, bang, sign it, off it goes. And we do this in most cases at the property, in front of the agent, at the kitchen bench, because we've already done our research and the numbers before we go in. This is how you get to be nice and slick and professional, and you stand out from all the amateurs and the newbies. Now, you can be a newbie and do this, but I tell you what, you'll fake it like you wouldn't believe, and they will not ever believe that you're a newbie. If you turn around and said to them, I haven't done a deal yet, it's my first one, they'll almost look at you, well, fuck, you look like you know what you're doing. And that's the key. It's about perception. If you're perceived to be a professional, you're perceived to be experienced, you got backing, you got financial backing, bang, away you go. Candy Brothers had absolutely no money. They go out to the boys in Qatar, they come back, they build bloody #1 High Street, Kensington, whatever it is. And, so many £1 million. That's exactly what they've done. It's exactly what we do, just in different, there's a few more zeros. So when you're presenting offers, so you need to treat agents in this system, and I can't show you the whole system tonight because we don't have time, and already I'm 10 minutes away from the hour, and I could go on all day, which is what I do when we run the classes. So in the HMO one, the rent to rent, I teach you all about finding, getting the agents, what to say to them. We make live calls, we do role plays. Excuse me. We dig right down into the due diligence. And then on the serviced accommodation one, we designed it in such a way that you don't do so much of the agent stuff, because there's a lot to know about serviced accommodation. So what we've done is we've got people to come to the rent to rent course, and then they go to the serviced accommodation course. So there is an offer on that at the end here, which is pretty good, and we've never offered it before. So step 5 is the agreement. And as you might have heard before, there are 4 options that we have. There's a management agreement, there's a company let, there's a commercial lease, and then there is the AST. Now, are you going to use a commercial lease with a residential letting agent? I'd probably say no. Are you going to use a management agreement? Again, I'd say no. Other trainers out there say, oh, that's fucking bullshit. It's not bullshit. I know agents. I've spoken to hundreds of them in the last year, let alone the last 3 years. Company lets, absolutely. That's a key to what you would put in that email without giving too much away. And then the other one is the AST. Now, do I use an AST? Yes, I will quite happily sign an AST. Will it be a complete AST? No way. Will it be still governed under the Housing Act? No way. It will come under common law, which is what a company let comes under, because basically we hack it to death and becomes a company let. Good. Again, if I went into contracts, we spent probably 40 minutes of that on the day on contracts, and we get right into the intricacies of it as well. And we want to make sure that we are fully compliant as well. So I don't want you to think I sound like a little bit blasé. I might sound blasé because it might be sort of mistaken for confidence, because I know what I'm doing and I know how to deal with these guys, and I know the laws and what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do, and what we can get away with and what we can't get away with. We never break the rules. Sometimes they can be flexible, but it's always within the laws. And we provide the contracts for you to use. Pardon me. If because we do get agents who actually asked us if we have a management agreement that they can use, because they might need a different one that allows certain types of lets that they can then reissue to their landlords. And we also, sometimes they don't have a company let, and we have a generic company let that we can there's a dynamic document that we can change to suit them and to suit us. The number one thing you must come across as is flexible. You must not ever say, oh, I've been told that we can only use a management agreement and that's all we're going to use, because they will say, nah, walk out. I was in Leicester with one of my students, and the lady says, as we walked in, told her what we're doing, she said, all right, so what paperwork can you use? You don't want to use your own management agreement, do you? Because if we do, we can't help you. Well, we'll use whatever paperwork you want, as long as it's legal and above the law. Okay, cool, come in, sit down. We've got loads of properties. But done. Don't just, I don't know why people just teach the management agreement bollocks, because it is bollocks. So, good. As you can see, step 2, 3, 4, and 5, you're dealing with an agent. Step 1, you're doing your due diligence. Step 6, you're doing a refresh. And step 7, you're filling that property with guests or tenants. So you can see that the majority of those steps, 4 of those steps, you're dealing with an agent. So you better get those relationships in order, and you better know what to say to them, and more importantly, what not to say to them. Remember, don't throw up all over them. Don't go in and over explain yourself, because they'll just sit there and think, oh, we've got a winner. We've got a winner here. So some of you, before you registered, or after you registered, shall I say, have also said, oh, but I don't have any money. I can't save any money. You know, all of my monthly pay is completely used. Sometimes it goes over and I go into my overdraft. So, and then there was a good 30, 35 of you who've asked this question. So do you have a problem with no money? If you do, as I explained, we have joint venture partners who are willing to work with you. Now, if you came to me and said, Ash, I've done no course, I haven't done this, or I've done a course, but you tell me who the course is, and I think, okay, you've done half a course maybe, then it may be that I would have to say to you, I can't help you with a joint venture partner. Because my guys on my group entrust me to do the due diligence on the deal, but also to do the due diligence on you. They don't want to put money into a deal where you're going to piss off after 6 months and think, oh, I can't do this, I've had enough. Because then a man left standing with the goods, especially if they're guarantor. So I do vet both sides. How much of your monthly pay? What I mean by that is, some of you said, I can't save money. if you can't save money, you need to do something about it. You either need to reduce your expenditure so that you can save money. I don't know, because a lot of you, that's impossible to you to do, because you're already living beyond your means. And sometimes living beyond your means is just holding your head above water. And I'm not going to say I feel sorry for you, but I do feel for you, because I've actually been there many years ago and I know what it's like. But I can tell you now, if you pull your finger out and you stick your head above that little parapet wall or above the little wake on the water, and you look for a different way, and this could be that. I'm not trying to sell you this, but I know that from all the people that I've taught, many of them have jumped out of that water and they're flying high above it and they're looking at it. They're like a drone. So if you've got no money, or you're at the point where, you know, it's getting a bit too much for you and the bills just keep coming in, I can help. And I'll show you a few of the guys who I've helped. So here, 11 deals in 5 months. That's rent-to-rent deals, plus 13 new service accommodation deals and another 21 in a pipeline. And he's setting up his own call center in Poland. Welcome, Lukasz. Amazing story. He needed funding. He had no money. He just left his job. And basically, you know, I think he had I hope he doesn't mind me saying, but he had a couple of months before the money ran out or something like that. I don't know. He needed a joint venture partner. A guy called Stefan came along. He was coaching somewhere else. And these guys are laughing now all the way to the bank. And, you know, they're having nice holidays, and he's got a new baby. And do you think he looks back now at the times when he had no money and he was thinking, you know, what do we do? And he's one of the guys I took out into agents. And like everyone else, they're a bit scared at first. Bang, in we went. We sent out the email exactly as you've seen. I do this 3 or 4 times a week with students and agents. So this is what we do. It's what we do on a daily basis. And why do we do it? Because we know it works and it gets us deals. Do you think those deals are going to come from making cold calls and everyone going, no, can't do it. So Lukasz had the time, but he didn't have the money. Awesome. 7 service accommodation deals in 2 months, plus 15 new service accommodation deals in negotiation. An amazing story from a guy who went out and got mentoring from another property trader out there and received absolutely zero value. Nigel Moss is a superstar in his own world. He did the service accommodation course that we do in November. He needed funding. He'd left his job. He had 6 months to get the last one. 3 service accommodation deals and 8 rent-to-rent deals in 14 months. Doesn't sound as impressive as that, or is that? Well, wait. Napa started out in debt, negative money. Also jobless and homeless. He lost his job, he lost his house within 2 weeks of starting. This guy is a massive inspiration. I phoned him today and I said, what the hell are you doing? Why aren't you still getting deals? I've got a manager now. I've got a manager doing this. I've been to my uncle's wedding in Belgium. I think he goes to like 10 weddings a year in France. I don't know what's going on, man. I hope you're listening up and you're not bullshitting me about these holidays, man. So he needed funding. He looked for a JV partner who had the cash to invest. Napa had the time. Napa has now, I think, 3 or 4 different investors that he works with. And he is now ramping up his business. He's got a manager paying his business. And I think from last count, Napa's putting in about £80,000 a year, and 80 grand a year. I don't know what that is. This is profit at 6.5 grand a month. Well done, Napa. Do you think he's looking back? He's looking back where he was, how far he's come. That's all he looks back at. So maybe it's your turn to stop earning and living and start creating wealth. Earn the money above you know, the parapet wall, above the waterline, or whatever it might be, you know, the poverty line. And don't be ashamed of it. Phone me, tell me, because I've been there. I've done the whole poverty thing many years ago, and I did it for years and years. How serious do you want to get? That's what I said to Jimmy, and some of you know Jimmy London. On day one, he's answered 20 grand a month. He's now smashed it. He's one of the 30 grand guys. He's actually pulled in over 40,000, 41,500 pounds, but 11,500 pounds is what he's given to his brother-in-law per month in deals. So he's actually pulled in, and that's within 12 months. He's currently in Dubai enjoying a nice holiday, again with his wife and his new son. Awesome. Well done, man. Is this inspiration you? I hope it is. It inspires me. It inspires me to keep doing the training because, you know, I could give up the training anytime, but this inspires me to keep doing it. So are you a wanter? Are you a wisher? Or are you a person who's going to make it happen? Because I tell you, if you want it and you wish for it, you ain't going to get it. You got to make it happen. Remember the action, get on the bike, make it work. You got to pedal. So how would you like to learn everything in detail and earn everything in detail? The detail that has helped make so many people, my students, financially free. And there are loads of them. Some of them have gone off rent to rent and now doing developments because it's given them that flexibility. It's given them the income to be able to do that. It's given them freedom to go and do that. If property is not what you want to do, don't do this, right? You've got to have some passion about it. It's like some people go into shares. Oh, I want to do it because it's easy money. Toss, 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 toss. Nothing is easy money unless you buy a lotto ticket and you're lucky enough to win 1 in 20 million chances or whatever it is. This will create you a business that gives you residual income. Yes, you're going to have to work for it. Yes, you do have to do work. But like Napa's done now, I just want to find new deals. I'm going to get a property manager. I use a property manager. Why do the dirty work? You need to do the dirty work at the start so you can teach someone else to do it for you. Called outsourcing. So if you want to be financially free, this is a strategy. This and service accommodation, rent to rent, or HMOs is a way that you can be financially free. It helped me when I started out. The reason I did it is because I didn't have enough cash flow in my properties. They were shit. We teach you monthly courses. We do monthly courses teaching you the 7 steps in detail. There's 7 steps for service accommodation, and there's also 7 steps for rent to rent. Any more than that, then people seem to get a little bit frustrated and think, what the hell do I do? So we're broken down into 7. And there's a lot of psychology behind it. I don't understand it. Someone told me it. So it could be the breakthrough that you're looking for. Perhaps you've already done a course. Perhaps you haven't had the consistent kick in the ass that you need, whether from me personally or from the actual private Facebook group. And it is private. You get to know these people. We have like a night out every 2 or 3 months. So people go out, they get drunk, or they drink water and fizzy water if that's what makes them drunk, or whatever it is. Whatever it is that relaxes them, makes them feel chill. They get to know these people, and there's a whole network here that people all know each other. You know, they turn up to Michael, hey, here you go, oh, hi, here you go, you know, hey, clicky, clicky, clicky. So what will you get from me? You get a manual, masterclass day, and exercises, essential documents we've spoken about, all the legal contracts you need, JV partners, essential for you if you have no money, plus service accommodation expertise and training and experience. Full follow-up support from me personally and the private Facebook group. I'm on there every day helping people out. And there's a lot of people now with loads of experience who are helping out. We've got accountants, we've got interior designers, we've got solicitors on there. They all contribute. And no excuses. Most of your deals will come from agents. This is a fast track to success. There's a lot more to know about the agent process, but I've given you as much as I can in the space of an hour, and we're already an hour and 10 minutes, so we're way over. I'm sorry if your dinner's burning or whatever it is. Maybe you should hit the salad. So here's a huge offer. So the manual, 600 quid. The course, 1,000 quid. Each course, that's a rent-to-rent and the service accommodation. The private Facebook group, worth way more than £1,000. The calculators, the scripts, you know, let's put it at 5.5 grand. So we'll give you 2 choices. Here's number 1. Do something about it, or keep doing what you're doing. If what you're doing right now is keeping your head above the water, You need to do the top one. Do something about it. Pull your finger out, get off your ass, go and do it. All the motivational quotes on the planet, in the world, are not going to help you one bit. I could sit here and say, you know, well, wow, you know, if only I'd started this time last year, I'd be wealthy and rich, and or you know, if I get off my ass and do all this, I don't know what they are, all the motivational quotes, right? We put quite a few on our Wealth and Success Academy Facebook page, but I mean, there's another one. What is it? Cynicism is the quickest tell to someone who's structured to lose. You know, all of this crap, and you can read it and you've forgotten about it straight afterwards. Yeah, there's a huge pattern on these things. Now, they're not going to help you unless you make the change, and the change may be that you actually now start doing something about it. Because you can sit on these webinars, you can listen to me jibber jabber all day long. But unless you do something about it, you pull that little finger out, you get up tomorrow morning and you start hammering, doing what you need to do, nothing is going to change. That I can guarantee you 100%. So forget the motivational quotes. You know, they'll help you for a few seconds, maybe a minute. You've forgotten about it the next day. If I said to you, what's the best motivational quote you've heard in the last 12 months? You go, you'll think of one, but it's not the best one. So you need to make the change. So my offer to you, the manual, you can have for $497 plus VAT. You can have the course included. You can have all of this stuff included. The price comes down to $497 plus VAT for the rent-to-rent course. I'll even give you a 100% money-back guarantee. If by the first break you say, this guy Ash is full of shit, come up to me and say, you're full of crap, I don't believe in what you're saying, I don't like this, I don't like the strategy, I'll give you money back, and I'll say, tally-ho. The best part, if you purchase today, I will also give you the serviced accommodation course included. So $497 for the rent-to-rent. I'll also include the service accommodation course, and you can bring a business partner or a friend or someone to support you if you need that. Because, you know, you might feel a bit like, oh, I don't want to go on my own. So you can bring anyone. Bring your son, your daughter, your uncle, your auntie, your grandpa, your mother, whatever it might be. Bring them along. Now, this is a freaking huge deal. And it has never been offered before by me or anyone in the industry. I am giving you rent-to-rent HMOs and rent-to-rent serviced accommodation. Both courses for $497 plus VAT, because we want to help you get above the parapet wall. We want to help you get out of wherever it is that you want to get out of. We want to make sure that you have income each month that you do not have to touch. Is that clear? That's massive, massive value. And 2 strategies, 2. So if you think you come to the rent-to-rent, I don't want to do this, this is shit. I hate this. I don't want to deal with tenants. Come to the service accommodation. Oh, fantastic. I can deal with guests. Yes, I've got to deal with booking.com and Airbnb, but so what? I'll even make more profit maybe. Awesome offer. Book now. Manual, look at this. All valued at 22 grand because it's 4 courses. 2 courses for 4 people. Remember, it was 5.5 grand. 22 grand value for £497 plus VAT. So how do you invest? I'm going to put a little page, a little thing up on the group now. We will do this. Okay. So here we are. Let's put this up. If you would like to see this. There we go. So you should see it on there now, and it will say Rent to Rent and SA cash flow masterclass for 2 people. You need to click on claim your spot here, the orange button. It will then take you to use either PayPal or your debit, credit card, however you want to pay. And you will get a screen that comes up for the Rent to Rent course. And it will look like this. Rent to Rent masterclass. I need to share my screen, don't I? Yeah. There you go, share. So it will look like this. And you simply click on select one person, even if there's 2 of you, only one, proceed. And you'll see here, book now. And it will take you through to putting in your details. And I'll say it's me at the moment. You put in your details and you click pay with PayPal. And you can click on PayPal and you can either pay by card or use PayPal if you don't have a PayPal account. That simple. Yes? Good? And then from there, you need to send me your details of the person who's going to be coming with you. And I will send you the dates for the service accommodation as well, which is at the end of each month. So I will send that back to you. So to recap, that's two courses, 2 strategies, £497 plus VAT. And you also get to bring someone else with you. Business partner as well, if that's you. You may be working with somebody, you may be working with a JV partner or something like that. And we look forward to seeing you. Now, what I will do now is I will take some questions. If you have any questions, so please fire away. If we don't have any questions, I know it's late. And okay, yeah, no problem. Cool. Yes, hello. I won't read out all the hellos because it bores the shit out of me when I listen to webinars and I hear all that. But hello, everyone who said hello. So if there's nothing else coming through, there's some statements, etc., but no real questions. Okay, it's in Peterborough at the Marriott Hotel. It's just off the A1. If you're coming from London, it's 1 stop from King's Cross to Peterborough. And they're held on Saturdays. Yeah, no problem. That's fine. Just send me through your the person that you're going to be bringing. No, it doesn't matter who it is, as long as it's not Donald Trump. Some of you might like Donald Trump. Okay. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you an insight of how to deal with agents. There is more to it, but we've already used up 1 hour and 20 minutes of your time. And we're already at 20 minutes over. So there is a replay if you want to watch the replay. It will be emailed to you automatically within 2 hours. And you can send questions off the replay as well. So thank you for those who've taken up the offer. You won't be disappointed. Again, that's it. Okay, so I'm just reading, so it's a bit rude. So yes, thank you all, and I'll see those of you who are coming Saturday. I'll see you there. And those who aren't, please go and do something. You're on this webinar for a reason. That reason is probably because you need some extra money, or you've been out dealing with agents You might have done a course with someone else and they haven't taught you how to deal with agents. To me, it's paramount to be able to do it, because it's where 90% of your leads and your business is going to come from. So I'll be nice about it now. I won't tell you get off your ass. I've done enough of that. But please, yes, if you do need any help with anything, feel free to email me or anything like that, and we can help you out in the best way we can. And okay, so sorry, someone's got a question. How do you go about doing service accommodation in an apartment which has a lease restriction for short-term lets? So off the record, in some buildings, most of the buildings do have that stipulation, but especially in London, many, and you'll only find this out mostly through agents who are putting people into service accommodation, is that they are not actually enforced. So they don't actually enforce that restriction. And they're quite open about not enforcing it. But the reason they have it in there is that if they ever need to, then they can enforce it. But obviously there's the time frames, etc., and the notice periods that they need to give you. We just looked at one in London, and there were quite a few empty flats. And we said, why? And the letting agent said to us, funny enough, they do tell lies, that they're buying their own now. So we ended up talking to the concierge, and the concierge said, no, it's the head lease is now being enforced. So out they went. So yeah, Camilla, I hope that answers your question. And thank you all. Thank you, Grant. Thanks, everyone. I'll leave you to it. I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of the evening now. Probably do a bit more work. I'm in Milton Keynes tomorrow with students, so looking forward to that. And ramping up some agents there. So if you're around, you might see us. But other than that, have a good evening, and I hope you've enjoyed the webinar, and I hope you learned something. And whatever your ventures are, I hope you enjoy what you're doing, and I hope you make some money if that's what you want to do. If it's just health that you want, then stay healthy and stay happy. All the best, and have a great evening. Thank you all.